Well, in this study, we're trying to understand whether the pattern of brain shrinkage and atrophy in humans is really unique to our species. And the way that we analyzed this was to look also at chimpanzees, who are our closest living relatives, separated from our lineage by only about 5 to 6 million years. And we know that human brains show decline in total size, and also particular parts of the brain shrink over age, and this is linked to some problems with memory and cognitive impairment. And so we wanted to know whether similar widespread atrophy is observed in the chimpanzees. The degeneration, the absolute shrinkage in the size of the brain and its parts, seems to be more widespread and intense in humans. And this is probably because we have both very large brain as well as very long lifespan. And the neurons in the brain don't regenerate over time. And so as time goes on, the neurons acquire normal wear and tear from function. And having a large brain with lots of energy, costly neurons in a brain that has to sustain itself over a long period of time, we just naturally acquire more wear and tear. Brain atrophy or degeneration is seen in both normal, healthy aging in humans as well as in diseases like Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease. In normal aging, you can start to see total brain size start to shrink after the 50s and onward, and it really accelerates beyond that into the 70s and 80s. Humans are the only species to display the kind of pathological changes in the brain of Alzheimer's disease. And the sort of dementia that comes along with the disease is also experienced only by humans, not by chimpanzees and not by any other species. And we think that our findings relate to this fact because Alzheimer's afflicts humans that are in the later stages of life. It doesn't show an onset until 50s or 60s, but it really starts to accelerate in the people who are afflicted in their 70s and 80s. And this is well past the lifespan of chimpanzees and other great apes. Chimpanzees in the wild never really live beyond about 45 years old. So we attribute much of what's seen as normal brain atrophy in humans to the elongated lifespan that we have, because most of those effects of degeneration occur past what would be the normal lifespan of our close relatives, chimpanzees. So other species also experience some amount of degeneration in the brain as they age. So an old monkey or an old rat, you'll see that there are fewer connections in the brain. Parts of the neurons have started to atrophy. And humans experience that too, but we experience it much more intensely, to the point where you can see that the brain is actually shrinking in absolute size, which you don't see in any of these other species, you don't see in the chimpanzees.